Sunday, every muscle aching, walking in slow motion, like he'd just been hit. Did they have a future? Would he know his children? Could he make a picture and get them all to fit? He was shaking in his seat, riding through the streets in a silver top. To her, shaking in his seat, riding through the streets in a silver top. To her door, to her door, to her door, to her door. Little ditty about Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland. Jackie gonna be a football star, Diane's debutante backseat of Jackie's car. Sucking on chili dog outside the taste freeze. Diane sitting on Jackie's lap, got his hands between her knees. Jackie say, hey Diane, let's run off behind the shady trees. Dribble off those Bobby Brooks, let me do what I please. Say, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Say, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. They walk on. Jackie sits back, collects his thoughts for the moment, scratches his head and does his best James Dean. Well then there and Diane gotta run off to the city. Diane says, baby, you ain't missing nothing. But Jackie say, oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Oh yeah, they say life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. So let it rock, let it roll, let the Bible belt come and save my soul. Hold on to 16 as long as you can. Changes come around real soon, make us women and men. Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Oh yeah, they say life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. A little ditty about Jack and Diane, two American kids doing the best that they can. dark, and I think that I'm beginning to know her. Let it go, I'll be there when you call. And whenever I fall at your feet, you let your tears rain down on me. Whenever I touch your slow turning pain, you're hiding from me now. There's something in the way that you're talking. Words don't sound right, but I hear them all moving inside you. Oh, I'll be waiting when you call. Hey, whenever I fall at your feet, you let your tears rain down on me. Whenever I touch your slow turning pain, the finger of blame has turned upon itself, and I'm more than willing to offer myself. Do you want my presence or need my help? Who knows where that might lead? I fall. Whenever I fall at your feet, you let your tears rain down on me. Whenever I fall, ever I fall. Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. No, I'll stand my ground. Won't be turned around. And I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life in a world that keeps on pushing me around, but I'll stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down.
rivers to cross, but I can't seem to find my way over. And wondering I am lost as I travel along white cliffs of Dover. I got many rivers to cross, and it's only my will that keeps me alive. Well, I've been licked, washed up for years, and I only survive because of my pride. Me alone. It's such a drag to be on your own. A woman left me and she didn't say why, and I guess I have to cry. Many rivers to cross,
Today we are here to celebrate and honour the life of Heather May Gray. On behalf of Heather's family, I warmly welcome you all and thank you for being here to support them and say farewell to a beautiful wife, a mum, a sister, a mother-in-law, a nana, an auntie, and a friend to so many. I would also like to welcome those that couldn't be here today and that are watching via the live stream. Heather was the loved wife of Drew. She was the loving mum and mother-in-law of Kelly and Peter, Shona and Matthew. She was the adored nana of Connor and Archer, Marty, Joel and Lewis. Heather was the love sister of Jeff, Sue and Jill, who is sadly no longer with us. My name is Ali Dennison, and along with Parkside Funerals, we are honoured to conduct this service for Heather today. The family invites you to remain here after today's service for fellowship, stories and refreshments. I would ask you all now, as a sign of respect, to please turn your mobile phones onto silent. In lieu of flowers today, Heather's family encourage you to make a private donation to the Wicking Dementia Centre. I would now like to welcome a lifetime friend and Marrawar stalwart, Ross Hin, to share the eulogy of Heather May Gray. I could not think of anyone better to deliver this on behalf of the Gray family.
Thanks, Ali. My early memories of Heather were of a young schoolgirl living next door to us when her parents, Laurie and Mari, were licensees of the Marrawar pub. My sister Jill, along with Tony, Jenny and Mulaney, were all great mates, attending school together. and Jill spoke of the great times together. Heather would organise little discos in the dining room, dancing to the music of Countdown, while Laurie and Murray worked the bar. And in those times, the telephone exchange and the post office were linked to the hotel complex. Heather would hook all their phone lines together so they'd all chat at the same time. And the story goes that she wanted to be a policewoman and then became crabby because she wasn't tall enough. She was a very keen softball player, playing in the local competition and badminton in the Marrawall Hall. She served for many years on the Western Area Management Committee and was president for a number of years. She was caretaker of the hall keys and would check on the state of the hall before and after events and put out the wheelie bins on rubbish day. Heather was an active member of the Marrawall Progress Association, who would prepare the Share and Care Christmas dinners for the elderly of the district. It was very popular, and at times the busload would come from Smithton. And they ran this event for 25 years, and this close-knit group always appreciated Heather's input and humorous antics. She always made the shortbread for the event, and on one particular day, Heather accidentally dropped a large bowl of fruit salad and quickly scooped it up with her hands and laughed so much that the tears rolled down her face. She worked at Dismal Swamp tourist facility after it opened in 2004. She loved the job and would often talk about it in glowing terms. Her personality and humorous nature made her a popular figure among the staff and visitors alike, and she was devastated when it closed. She was elected to the Circular Ed Council in 2007 and was very proud of her achievements. One in particular was the sealing of the Greenpoint Beach Road and parking area, which was always in a bad state of disrepair. She was vocal about the condition of the West Point Road at one time. This road is a Parks and Wildlife responsibility, but at that time council were copping some flack over its condition. And after an agreement was reached between the two bodies on the maintenance schedule for that road and others. Kelly said her mum's favourite saying was, "I have a lot to put up with," which was true because of Dad's shenanigans. And Matty was always slopping coffee all over the carpet. One particular Saturday after cricket, Drew managed to sample a few beers after an early finish to the game. Feeling a bit worse for wear, he told Heather he'd been hit on the head with a cricket ball and had a bad headache and needed to lay down on the bed for a while. Heather was concerned about his well-being and thought maybe he had concussion and thought about ringing for some medical attention. Heather went to the cowshed to give Bob a hand to milk and explained that Drew had been hit on the head with a cricket ball and was suffering a bad headache. Bob quickly replied it was the beer, not the ball, that was causing the suffering. Heather reacted as most wives would, but after a period of time, her wonderful sense of humour shone through and she would always laugh about it all. Many summers ago, local farmers were called to fight a small bushfire in the district. And Drew commented that we needed to keep the fire going until milking time because Heather had offered to milk for him. Marilyn recalls the wonderful times both families had together on the holidays down at Symes' shack and fishing in the river. Heather loved fishing and would always carry a bucket with her to put the catch in. Bruce would tease her about it, it seemed to be always empty. Marilyn speaks of a dry sense of humour. Heather helped Drew and Bob splitting wood with a splitter by using a hydraulic lever and then bragged about how many tonnes of wood she split for the day. Now I've got a little story from Cherie, all the way from Leeton in New South Wales. She promised me that it's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. A typical night out at the Marrawall pub. way too many glasses of liquid and a whole ton of laughs before it was time to shut the bar and call for takeaways only, as word was getting around that the party was over at Jacko's. Kira and I were dropping Hayden Nichols and Cheryl Sharrock off at the party before making our way home. And we thought it'd be a good idea to stop by Heather and Drew's to give them a friendly toot in the early hours of the morning. It was one of those spontaneous decisions, the kind that seemed hilarious at the time, but probably wasn't best thought out. As I started to turn around, Hayden told me he needed an urgent pee. So out he jumps, and before we knew it, there was a trailer hiss up to the back of the Prado. The car door flies open and Hayden's yelling, "Go, go, go." So off I drove, as always, doing as I'm told, to Jacko's to drop off Hayden and Cheryl and the bloody prized boat trailer. Now this trailer was almost big enough to load the Spirit of Tasmania on, so Jacko's driveway wasn't going to cut it for me to turn around. I would have to be quite creative to do that, so I pulled over onto the nature strip of the driveway and Hayden hunt his trailer where it stood. At least no one would get too close to it, scratch it. And finally, Karen and I were off home. On the drive back, we thought it'd be fun to give Heather a call and dribble a bit of post-pub rubbish for the trip home, only to find that Heather didn't wake up all that happy. Of course, after a few drinks, we still thought we were hilarious and didn't think too much more of the night. The following day, I'd been cooking to help cater for the 50 and overs cricket dinner and needed to drop off my culinary at the footy sheds. Needless to say, the late night antics made the task even harder. And as I walked in the kitchen, I was met by Heather, who was looking quite fired up, and I knew I was in trouble. But I stood there and took it, because all I could tell it wouldn't be a good idea to try and defend myself at that point. Beth Nichols, Orion Arnold, Ned Hine and Marilyn Gray were all there, and there could have been more, but I wasn't brave enough to look sideways and keep score. And they decided to get out of the heat, and Heather let me know that she knew it was us who'd stolen the trailer, that Bob and Drew hadn't long built, and because of our childish behaviour, we'd bent the jockey wheel. I was like, shit, I don't recall that part. But anyway, I just kept talking, taking it on the chin. And after Heather read me the riot act, I turned around, my tail between my legs and bolted. The next time I saw Heather, she'd put it all behind us and we were back to our usual selves as if nothing had happened. Almost 2 years later, there was a night at the footy sheds. Nietzsche shut the bar and a handful of us who were never ready to go home had a couple of roadies before we left. Drew was one of the stayers, of course, and when he was sure there weren't too many ears around, he decided to come clean and tell me what really happened to that jockey wheel. And let's just say, it wasn't from the night that it made its midnight journey to Jacko's driveway. Rest in peace, Heather. You'll be sadly missed. To Drew, Kelly, Shona and the entire family, you are in our thoughts, and we look forward to when we get home soon to wrap our arms around you. Unquote. Heather was a much-loved member of our community, always willing to help others and participate in any community activity with a smile and, of course, that wonderful sense of humour. To you, Drew, your beautiful daughters, Kelly and Shona, and their families, and to Sue and Jeff, we offer our heartfelt sympathy. You will always be proud of a wonderful wife and a grandmother and sister. Rest in peace, Heather. Thank you.
What an amazing tribute to Heather that was. Now we're going to ask Heather's eldest daughter, Kelly, up to share a tribute on behalf of her mum.
Thanks, Sally, and thank you, Ross, for that lovely eulogy. Please excuse my shaky voice. Public speaking is not one of the Grey's strong points. Today I'd like to pay tribute to the memories and positive influence of Mum during our childhood that have shaped Shona and I into who we are today. We were lucky enough to grow up on a farm at Marrawar. It was a time when stay-at-home mums were the norm, and it was important for Mum to be around when we got home from school. This was also appreciated by us. Life on the farm afforded us great freedom, buzzing around on motorbikes, tadpoling in water troghs and building cubbies. But it didn't come without responsibilities. Helping out around the house during the hay season or when Dad and Bob were fishing was a given. And Mum taught us how to cook early in life, serving morning and afternoon tea in the hay paddock or preparing meals in the evening while Mum would be milking. Valuable life skills that we are now grateful for. A game of badminton or tennis with just the three of us usually resulted in fits of giggles, and Mum always flogged us, 1 against 2. Riding bikes around the roads, days at the beach and camping trips all happened as we got older. Mum trusted us in a way that society would balk at today, and I'm sure she worried, but she never held us back. Boys and nights out came next, which Mum navigated with grace, fairness and a healthy dose of trepidation, and rightly so. Picking us up from parties or nights at the footy sheds in a dressing gown was a regular occurrence, often ending up with a carload and sometimes a house full. Our friends were also Mum's friends. As young adults, Mum instilled in us a strong work ethic. We were always told to never be seen standing around and to show initiative in the workplace. I always remember her pride when we got our first jobs. A whiz on computers, she would help us with our resumes and our job applications. Serving the local community was an important part of Mum's life, sitting on many committees and always helping out when needed. I have fond memories of helping out with the dinners or events at the Marrawar Hall, which Ross has already spoken about, waitressing or in the kitchen, marvelling at Ned, Mum and the crew with their cooking and organisational skills. The community of Marrawar, the people and the place held significant meaning for Mum. Later in life, her job at Dismal Swamp sparked a real interest in nature, and Mum loved to take photos of fungi, the bush and the coastline, and her and Dad would take regular trips through the Tarkine Drive or down the coast. She had a beautiful Instagram feed and was a regular contributor to the ABC News weather photo feature. This interest in nature was common ground for us, and we would often share notes or experiences. An interest in politics, local and abroad, developed, and Mum took great pride in her role on the council. Political debates took place around the dinner table, and Mum usually sat on the fence on most matters. She also always held a strong sense of justice. Eventually, the dementia took hold, and one by one, skills were lost. Although we are currently grieving, the nature of dementia ensures a lengthy and ongoing grief long before now. People consider dementia a loss of memory, but it is so much more. Physical and personality changes and a gradual loss of ability to do the things you love. One thing I've always admired about Mum is however bad she felt throughout this experience, she has always acknowledged that there is someone worse off, which of course is very true. Mum maintained a sense of humour throughout, only recently telling her sister-in-law, who shall remain unnamed, that she should be giving up smoking. Or maybe she wasn't joking. In retrospect, Mum has lived a full life, all but a little short, and Shona and I are grateful for the support, guidance and love that has formed us as adults. Mum had one parting wish, and that we have not been able to grant. And that was to have Jimmy Barnes perform at her funeral. However, not one for a fuss. I think she would approve of her send-off. In closing, I would like to thank Mum and Dad's circle of friends who have provided vital and unwavering support that has meant so much to all of us. Thank you.
That was so beautiful and so special. Now I'd like to ask Heather's niece, Lisa Marshall, to come up and share a beautiful poem with us now.
Thanks, Ali. The poem's called Tides, chosen by family. The tide goes out, the tide goes in, sand washes away and is brought back again. Every day I sit here and wish you were by my side to dry my tears before they are swept away upon the tide. A mother is your first love, as her children are her last, a bond that stretches evermore in the future and the past. There are other loves that join it, that spring up on either side, but still it lingers constant, ever flowing like the tide. Thank you.
So it's been so beautiful to hear about some of Heather's life in words, and now the family would like to share with us a slideshow that lets us see a glimpse of some of their most cherished memories.
Something is wrong, my baby. Something is wrong with me. If I know she's worried, misery. We've been through so much together. We spoke as one, and that's what makes it better. When something is wrong,
Those pictures really told a story of their own. Heather was the third child to Laurie and Mari Andrews. She was born in Launceston on the 27th of November 1956, and she moved to Marrawar around the age of 5. Heather's dad, Laurie, was a builder, and a job came up in Greenpoint, which saw the family eventually settle there. Heather attended Redcar Primary and Smithton High, and it was certainly a blessing that the family moved to Greenpoint, as that set the scene for Heather and Drew to meet in their late teens. They married when Heather was 19 and Drew was 21. Heather was a valued community member and, as Ross said, played softball and badminton for Marrawar. One of her favourite volunteer roles later in life was helping with the 50s and over Marrawar cricket. As I sat at Heather's home on Tuesday with Drew, Shona and Kelly, there were some beautiful memories shared. There were many knocks at the door offering condolences for Heather's passing, and there was so much cooking delivered over the past few days, which shows what a loved person Heather was in this community. Heather's career started in an admin role at the Pulp in Burnie, and she also worked in the office at Smithton High School. She undertook relief admin roles at the police station and in Tony Fletcher's office. Heather's love for her family was strong, and when Kelly and Shona completed the family, as Kelly said, the girls were fortunate to have their mum stay home and care for them. As the girls transitioned to high school, Heather worked on the boat at the Arthur River. She also worked in the shops at Marrawar and Redcar, was an electoral officer and kept the books for the farm. She was also a tour guide with Tall Timbers and undertook the role of the councillor on Circular Head Council. The farm was a great life for the Gray family. There were lots of antics played out between family and friends. On one instance, Drew started the ball rolling by being self-gifted some white bait from Inch Gray's freezer. Inch decided, while in Marrawar, perhaps the Gray family could repay the favour. As Heather watched cricket, Inch crept into the home and perused through the freezer. He managed to find the biggest crayfish as his payback. But not wanting to disturb Heather, he crept out again. Drew happened to be coming home just in time as this was unfolding, and he managed to block Inch in the driveway. But Heather and Drew could never locate that crayfish. Some of Heather's nieces and nephews were very cautious of Heather. A couple were actually scared shitless of Heather. And nephew Matthew would taunt Heather with his motorbike revving just to see her reaction. Although Heather was scary on occasions, she loved her family with all of her heart. When her grandchildren came along, that love certainly grew. One of Heather's greatest passions and purpose was the Dismal Swamp tourist attraction. She was there from start to finish of the Dismal Swamp days, and she'd done a hospitality and tourism course, which saw her eventually become manager there. Matthew and Shona's wedding was a special day for the family, as it was the first event that was held when Dismal Swamp was opened. On August the 6th, 2019, Heather and Drew made the decision, with mixed emotions, to leave Marrawar and move to Smithton. Heather and Drew were fortunate enough to travel together to destinations such as Darwin, New Zealand, Queensland and Melbourne. Heather loved Melbourne, and she loved to go to the footy to watch her beloved Bombers, and two of her all-time favourites were Hurdy and Lloydie. Heather's life changed around 15 years ago when she developed early dementia. The journey since then has been a tough road for Heather and her family. Heather had the ability to cover things well, and it went unnoticed to most. On the 14th of May this year, Heather was admitted to Emmerton Park for respite, and she remained there until she passed on Sunday. Drew, Kelly and Shona wish to sincerely thank Emmerton Park staff for their care and their love for Heather during her time there. And they also wish to sincerely thank Dr. O'Connor for his support. Heather is certainly going to be sadly missed by her family, But it's not what we take when we leave this world behind us. It's what we leave behind us when we go. Heather may have left her physical body, but her spirit will live on within each of you. We have now come to the part of the service where we say our final farewell to Heather. While Heather's journey may have changed, it did not diminish the love that she shared with each of you or the memories that you all hold. As we part ways today, may we find peace in knowing that Heather is now at rest. She's free from the struggles she faced, and she's forever surrounded by our love and our gratitude. Let us leave here today not only with sorrow, but with a renewed commitment to cherish the moments we have with those that we love. As the final curtain closes on Heather's life, it will never close on her memory. We say our final goodbye as we commit the body of our loved one and our friend to nature's keeping. We are grateful for the life that has been lived and for all that her life has meant to each of us. And we now say farewell, and may you rest in peace. Tenderly, lovingly, and reverently, we commit Heather to a more peaceful place. We give thanks for your life, Heather, and for your 68 years of love, friendship, and thank you for your memories. Farewell, dear Heather, on your next journey.
There was a howl that night, a howling like they'd never heard before. He cried so loud, oh Granddad almost hit the door. He said, I love this child much as anyone that she ever bore. But I thank the Lord we won't be having any more. Then the baby heard the sweetest sound he'd ever heard, in tones so beautiful he hung on every word. She sang, hush my love, Granny's little dove is gonna take to the sky. It was on such a night he learned to fly like a bird. Now the years have passed, memories come and go. He hears that voice that rocked him gently so. Here come will descend, and there's peace at the end of the darkest night. Sometimes I cry, sometimes I